Good morning. It's Monday and it's the last full week of November. So hopefully you had a good weekend and you're ready for the week ahead. I thought we'd do something a little bit different today. If you've been kind of active over the weekend doing lots of walking and stuff, then it can be really nice to just give the legs a little bit of attention after that. So hopefully you've got a little ball nearby. We don't want it to be too hard, so hopefully it has a little bit of give. You can use a tennis ball or something similar to that. And then we also want a little foam roller. Um, the size of the foam roller doesn't really matter, but it's a really nice tool for helping us to just allow the muscles to just soften and give after they might have been doing a lot of work this weekend if you were moving around quite a lot. So just start for the moment here, just having your legs out in front of you. And you just want to notice what it's like for you to sit up like this. Just notice what you're feeling through the front of your hips, through your lower back, through your legs. Just take a moment to kind of feel where you're starting from. Maybe it might be nice to close the eyes and just kind of allow your thoughts to settle into your body for these first few moments, just to kind of, take stock of what you're feeling like, energy levels this morning, what if there's any places of tension or tightness, of pain. So we're going to be really aware of those areas and just kind of knowing where you're starting from. So then we're going to take that little ball and you're going to place it right underneath you. So it's going to be right underneath that sitting bone. You can actually take your fingers and feel for that bony bit that you sit on. We're going to place it underneath the right side. So it's going to be kind of directly underneath where the top of your shoulder is, underneath your where you're sitting. So just sit on that for a second. It might be a little bit uncomfortable to begin with, and then you're just going to start to rock back and forth. So you notice I'm taking my my spine with me. It's not bending or folding. I'm actually keeping a pretty long, straight spine as I'm rocking back and forth. So we're going over the top. I can kind of let my feet do the work for with me too, so they're flexing toward me and then pointing away. Just notice what that's like for you. You can go a little bit side to side, so you're kind of going over the top of your sitting bone on that right side, side to side, and then it might be good to bend the knees a little bit so you can make a little circle around the top of your right sitting bone. So you've got that ball underneath you and you're circling around the bone that's at the bottom of your pelvis. And the reason why we're starting here is because your hamstring muscles attach to your sitting bones. And the hamstring muscles can get, especially, if you're cycling or walking, this area can get quite tight. This whole bottom of your leg area, you've got these string of hamstring muscles that are running along there. So we're just kind of allowing that the area to where they attach to have a little bit of a release. So once you've done circles in one direction, make sure you've gone back around the other way. Do a few circles in that direction, and then roll the ball slightly away from you, so you end up with the ball just underneath or just in front of your sitting bone. So it's underneath those hamstring muscles. You can lift yourself up a little bit and go side to side. So again, you've got your hamstring muscles running. There's a group of, I believe there's 3 of these muscles running from your sitting bone all the way to the back of your knee. And we want to be running the ball across those fibers like this, like a little crosshatch. So try to keep your knee directly up towards the ceiling and just be rolling across those hamstring muscles, creating a bit of heaviness and weight over them, and then roll down a little bit. Pause for a second, just let some weight be onto your ball over the top of your thigh over the ball. Good morning, Rod. Hopefully you've got your ball ready and it's underneath and you're rolling. We're going to roll side to side again. And then just keep inching your way down. So you'll end up to where the ball is really underneath quite a meaty part of your hamstring muscles. So you might want to spend some time just putting some weight over the ball, thinking about that ball just being like a hot, kind of a hot surface melting. So you're allowing the muscle and the tissues to just melt over the top of the ball. That's what we're thinking here. And then just going side to side. Keep making your way down. There'll be a point when you actually have to move your leg side to side rather than moving your body over the top of it. Just notice when you get to that point, keep rolling the ball side to side. Remember, we're cross-hatching over those muscle fibers. Inching your way down towards the back of the knee, slowly. Just taking your time, letting that all release out nice and slow. And then eventually you'll make your way to right under the knee. So you've got the top of your kneecap there and you want the ball to be right over it. And I just want you to take your hands and kind of think about spreading the shape of the knee over the shape of the ball, over the roundness. Let the foot just be relaxed here. Maybe put a little bit of weight onto that shaping over the top of it. And then have your little side to side. So let your leg move rather than your body. Because this, again, this is an area that builds up a lot of tension, just like where your hamstring muscle connects at the sitting bone. Your hamstring muscle connection at the bottom, back of the knee never really gets a chance to be released. So just take your time with this one. It can seem a little tedious when you're doing it, but the results are definitely worth it. And you'll feel that in a moment when we take the ball out. So take the ball out from underneath you. And just notice what that leg is now like compared to the other. You can probably even see it. Can you feel, like I can feel that this leg has gotten really lower and closer to the ground, and this one still, it doesn't want to straighten all the way out, and it feels like it's kind of lifted away. So I can feel the difference between my two legs. I don't know about you at home. Hopefully you can feel that too. So let's do the other side. So you're going to put it right underneath your left sitting bone now. Just kind of sit there for a moment, settling in, noticing what this side feels like compared to the other. If you need like little blocks behind you to prop your hands and wrists up, that can be a good option if you're feeling like this is compressing into the wrists. So just notice if you need something like that to prop you up, that's absolutely fine. And then just start a little forward and back movement, kind of get the feet involved, let the spine be as straight as possible, and kind of want to let your head go forward, over, and back with your spine. Just a few times. And do a little side to side. Ooh, this one is a little bit more sensitive than the other side. And then finally, just doing some circles around the top of the ball, around the sitting bone. So you might make the circles a bit bigger, might make them a little bit smaller. Just notice what works for you. Take your time in circling around. And then just roll slightly back so that you're right in front of the sitting bone and you're starting to get into the hamstring muscle. And then you can take yourself, you can move side to side over those string of the hamstrings. Keep just inching the ball down nice and slow. So you're taking your time to do that, but you're also cross-hatching on your way down. So keep moving it down. Keep pointing your knee and your feet up towards the ceiling. So notice I'm not doing this with my leg. I'm actually moving my whole leg and keeping it from rotating it too much. Keep working your way down. You get right into the meat of the muscle there, and you can use your hands to start to kind of get this idea of spreading the tissue over the ball, which can be quite nice. Cross hatching as you go. And then eventually you'll come to that point where you can't really use your body weight on top of it. You kind of have to move your leg instead. So notice what that point is like for you. Eventually you'll end up closer and closer to that knee joint. Hopefully you're breathing and just taking a little bit of time to give your hamstrings a little bit of attention. So eventually you'll end up right over the knee joint. Just kind of use your hands to spread, give some heaviness, give some shape over the top of the ball. And then have a little side to side here, right underneath that joint. This side definitely feels much different for me. I'm just going to guide with my hands a little bit more on this side. Great. And then take that ball out when that feels right, and just notice both legs. Mine are feeling pretty good. Now they feel like they both have kind of dropped down, and they're a little bit kind of spreading out towards the floor. Okay, so now we're going to take the foam roller, and we're going to bring it around back to the right side. So you kind of want to sit with one leg kind of off, up just a little bit here. Want to have your left leg off and your most of the foam roller kind of off to the side there. And you're just going to, again, start to roll through the hamstring area. So kind of cross-hatching as you go, just kind of doing a little bit more work into that area as you roll. And kind of use your arms to roll through that on the right side. And then what you'll begin to do is turn onto the side. So you're starting to get into where your pocket area is on the right. And I might actually turn around because that would make more sense. If I'm facing towards you, there we go. So we're rolling through, there we go. Now you can see me. Rolling through this top area, and this is an area where we get another pocket of tension because there's a lot of things kind of connecting into that. You can roll through the side of the leg, through the ITB, tibial band, another one of these tendons that can get a lot of tension running through. So just make your way. Eventually you'll roll over to the front, and you can start to roll through the quadricep area for yourself. So you're rolling through the front. Maybe you want to roll over the side of the other leg, maybe getting up right close to the top of that knee, but not rolling over any bone because that would be quite uncomfortable. And then you can just start to roll over to the other side. So you're rolling through the pocket on the other side, rolling down through the RTB band on your left side, and then taking your time rolling back around. So just spending as much time as you need to. Maybe you want to revisit this at a different part of the day, but just noting you can take that roller and you can really roll all over every part of the leg, which can feel quite good. So we're going to now take the roller again, roll over onto your side so that you can have your right leg over the top of it. Actually, sorry, let's do the left leg. Left leg over the top, and you're getting right into the muscle right in front of the knee here. And you can just either keep yourself propped up, or you can lay your head down, whatever feels most comfortable. But you're just going to kind of start to roll the roller toward you and roll it away. So we're getting into this muscle right close to the knee. You can feel it's quite tender for me, so just go easy. Make sure you're not rolling over bone, but that you're rolling over muscle. Roll through that a little bit, and then pause, and you're going to start to lift your foot away from the floor. So I'm keeping my my leg really heavy. Most of my body is relaxed, so it doesn't feel like I'm actively having to work anywhere. What we're doing is just allowing this muscle to get a little bit more of a tension and a roll out here. And then keep that lifted about halfway. You're going to do some circles through the ankle joint. So use your heel, use your toes, and do a big circle out here. And then reverse, go back around the other direction. So you're doing some circles and just working through that. And then rest the leg down. Go on over to the other side. Flip myself around and then just start to roll through that muscle. So again, you could go forward and back to get that cross hatching going. I quite like to go this way because I can feel like I'm getting into that muscle a little bit deeper, which is nice. Again, one of these areas that we don't really give much attention to, so it's nice to just spend a bit of time. Let your leg rest down. Again, you can rest your body down if that feels good, and then start to lift and lower that back foot. So we're lifting and lowering a few times. And just seeing what that's like. Maybe it's quite different on this side. Getting a good rotation through the femur bone. And then keep the foot lifted about halfway. Do some big circles around with the ankle, with the foot. Turn it around, go back the other way, using the heel, using the toes. Really get that circle nice and big and going around. Just do that a couple of times. And then rest the foot down. Bring yourself back up. And finally, we will roll through the calves. So this is one that can be quite tender. Just see how you go. You are going to bring your right foot up and over your left foot. Just a little bit farther back. So that your Achilles is just resting over your roller. So kind of maybe do a little cross hatching here. Again, another one of those areas that we tend to not really think about, but an important connection of muscle running right through the back of your ankle. So give that a little bit of attention. And then just begin to lift your body up. You're going to lift your pelvis up so that you can roll right down to the top of your calf muscle and then roll back towards you. If you want to rest down for a moment, you can. And just keep on rolling through that muscle, taking your time to breathe and just get into that area of the lower leg. You can start to roll over to the side to get onto the outside of that muscle. Notice how far down you need to go. Maybe you need to shift your weight around a little bit to get up into the upper part of the calf on the outside. And roll the other way, get onto the inner part of the calf muscle. Just kind of twisting to get into the different parts of your leg, your lower leg. And then maybe just spending a little bit of time using your other foot to take some of the weight off the arms and get right into the middle of the muscle again. Okay. Bring that leg down, just give it a little shake out. Again, notice what those legs are feeling like compared to each other before we move on to the other side. So your right leg's going to be on top of the roller. Maybe just giving the left leg's going to be over the top of your right. And just give yourself a little side to side movement over that Achilles tendon at the back of the ankle. And then when you're ready, just lifting yourself up to roll up and over the top of that calf muscle. This can be quite a lot of work for your arms, so just positioning your hands and your arms in a place that feels really supportive for you. Rolling onto the outside of the calf muscle, spending some time rolling onto the inside of the calf muscle, and positioning yourself so you can get a little bit deeper into that. And then maybe taking the top foot away so that you can roll without so much weight into the arms, just right into that calf. And then take the foam roller out of the way, put it to one side. Again, just come back to seated where you were at the very start. So checking in with how things have changed through your legs. Maybe you don't have as much tension through the front of your hips, or maybe it's just that your legs can sit a little bit straighter and closer to the floor without causing so much tension through the lower back. Just notice what that's like for you. You know, again, if you do these things quite regularly, you can imagine what effect that's going to have for these muscles. Really good idea to be rolling out. It's like a massage. You know, I don't know if you've ever had a really good massage, but you feel the benefits for a couple of days after, and our muscles really enjoy having that really deep attention because it hydrates the muscle, it allows the fluid to come in and really keep it nice and plump and full of life. So now you're going to find your whatever you need to make yourself comfortable here. I'm going to have a couple of cushions, one underneath me, a couple underneath my legs, just to support my knees so that I can sit up really comfortably. If you want to be in your chair, that's absolutely fine as well. Just begin to allow the eyes to close, starting to settle down the thoughts, starting to settle into ease and comfort through the whole body. So now we don't have to do any moving. In fact, we don't have to be anywhere else in this moment. You can just put 5 minutes aside to settle in and do absolutely nothing. You don't even have to think. So before we get into the 5 minutes of silence, of not having to think about anything, we'll just do a little body scan from the crown of the head, through the front of the face, past the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, past the sides of the head, past the ears, past the back of the head, back of the skull, right through the nape of the neck, back through the back of the neck, front of the neck, scanning down through the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms, and the hands. Just noticing any sensations through the upper body as you scan down through the chest, the abdomen, and the belly. Scan back up through the spinal column, and then scan down through the back of the body, upper back, mid-back, and lower back. Again, just being aware of any sensations of how you feel today compared to even maybe when you just first started this session today. And then scanning down through those legs, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. Just noticing any sensations maybe that have changed from the top half of the body as you scan on down through the bottom half. And then start to take your attention, your awareness onto the breath, coming in through the nose and out through the nose. And remembering here that you can give yourself a little holiday from having to think about anything at all. These thoughts might come in to distract you. That's absolutely fine. Just let them be and then just let them go. See if it's possible to just Allow your thoughts to drift aside like a cloud being blown across the sky, so that you can keep your mind clear like a blue autumn day. You can count your breaths here if that helps you from 1 to 10, starting over at 1 again as you reach 10. We'll start our 5 minutes of silence beginning right now. And just beginning to bring your awareness back into the space around you. Before opening your eyes, however, just spending a moment in gratitude for all that you have. There's a real science behind this gratitude, and since I'm from America, it's Thanksgiving week, I thought it'd be nice to just spend a few moments really being grateful, even in the midst of all this craziness going on in the world. We can still move, we can still function. So just being really grateful for the ability to do that, for all of our complexity of our bodies and how amazing they are. Spending a few moments in that appreciation and just really being thankful for that. And then just opening the eyes and enjoying your Monday. Hope you have a really nice day ahead. And I will see you back here at 7:30 again tomorrow morning, nice and bright and early. Have a good day.